Marcus Rashford ends Chelsea's winning run and helps Manchester United progress to the quarter-finals of this season's Carabao Cup. Watch until the end of this review to hear all of my thoughts on yesterday's match. Hello people, welcome to my channel, welcome to another video. This is my review of the game which took place yesterday evening at Stamford Bridge in the Carabao Cup fourth round between Chelsea and Manchester United, which Manchester United ended up winning by 2-1. So what I'm going to do for you guys in terms of this review is that firstly, I'll be giving you guys the lineup that Frank Lampard fielded at the start of the match. I'll then be giving you my thoughts on yesterday's match itself, and lastly, I'll be giving you guys my thoughts on Chelsea's upcoming Premier League fixture, which will be taking place at Vicarage Road against Watford with kickoff at 5:30 PM UK time, and the match will be taking place on Saturday. So without further ado, let's get straight into this review. So kicking things off with the lineup that Frank Lampard fielded at the start of yesterday's match, and as always, starting off with the formation, and to be honest with you guys, it looked as though we went with the 4-3-3 / the 4-2-3-1 hybrid again, so that is exactly what I've noted down, because throughout the game it did look as though we were using both, but yes, for the sake of reading out the players in which Frank Lampard chose to start the game with, I'm just going to go with the 4-3-3 shape. But yes, he went with Caballero in goal. He went with a back four from right to left of Reece James, Kurt Zouma, Mark Guehi and Marcos Alonso. He went with a midfield three of Jorginho, Billy Gilmore and Mateo Kovacic. And he went with a front three from right to left of Callum Hudson-Odoi, Michy Batshuayi and Christian Pulisic. So that is the lineup that Frank Lampard fielded at the start of yesterday's match. Now for my thoughts on the match itself, and as always, starting off with the first half. I actually felt as though Chelsea made a really good start to the first half. We looked as though we were able to pass the ball around with ease, and we looked as though we were going to create some chances. But as the first half went on, that was pretty much the opposite of what we did, because as the first half went on, we did not end up creating all too many chances, if not any. But yes, as the first half went on, I'll say it for the third time now, Manchester United did grow into the game. We did have the first 10 minutes of the first half, I'd say, where we controlled it and looked really dangerous. But Manchester United grew into it, like I said, and they actually got a goal in the first half, which came from the penalty spot after after Marcos Alonso brought down Daniel James in the box. It was a stupid challenge, let's be honest. That was not a good decision from Marcos Alonso, and he didn't make too many of those in yesterday's match. But I'm not one of those ones who wants him out. I actually like Marcos Alonso. But anyways, Marcus Rashford ended up taking the penalty, and he did brilliantly from the penalty spot. And yeah, he made it 1-0 to Manchester United. And after the penalty was scored by Manchester United, we had nothing going forward. We could not get the ball up to Michy Batshuayi. We rarely had any openings. We gave the ball away in midfield far too many times. We were getting caught out a few times, and we were getting caught out at the back a few times as well. And in a way, we could have been 2-0 down if Manchester United were a little bit more clinical with their chances. But yes, overall, not a great first half by any means. I don't think that there were too many chances from either side in the first half. But the key thing is that Manchester United went into half-time with a 1-0 lead, so we cannot criticise. But now for my thoughts on the second half. I actually thought that we made an excellent start to the second half. We showed a lot of energy, we showed passion, we showed desire, or more desire, shall I say. And to be honest, it was not easy to put in a better performance in the second half than we did in the first, because that first half was really poor from us. The goal in which we scored of course, through Michy Batshuayi was a brilliant goal, world class if you must. Willie Caballero just put a long ball over the top. It was a hopeful ball, I must say, but it did land. Reach Michy Batshuayi. He brought it down. He brought it down really well. Controlled it with his chest. Drove with the ball, and he fired it into the bottom corner from outside the box. Their keeper had absolutely no chance. I can't even remember who was in goal for them, but their keeper had absolutely no chance with that. And I think the goal in which we scored in the second half was a deserved goal for the way we were playing at the time. But after that, and after Manchester United brought on their substitutions, they brought on Martial and I believe it was Andres Pereira. They got their momentum back and they scored an absolute worldie of a goal. Pedro came on as well for Christian Pulisic, I think, and Tammy Abraham came on for Michy Batshuayi, who I didn't think had a bad game. I think he was our best player actually. What was I going to say? Pedro came on, he conceded the foul in which Marcus Rashford ended up scoring the goal from. It was from a free kick, yes. It was an absolutely beautiful strike. It did take a deflection, but even if it didn't, I don't think that Willie Caballero would have saved it. But yes, Pedro, I don't know why he made that challenge. The player was going nowhere. I can't remember who it was. Was it Fred? Please let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to have my memory jogged. But yes, Pedro did come on and conceded the foul. It was a stupid challenge. He did not need to make it because Kovacic was right in front of him, and he probably would have gotten the ball as well because we all know that Kovacic is good at tackling and he's good at driving with the ball, XYZ. But yes, take nothing away from Manchester United's second goal. It was a world-class goal. But yes, after that goal as well, we just had absolutely nothing. And there's one thing that I have to mention. Our set pieces were absolutely shocking, defensively and offensively. If you class a penalty as a set piece, then I can say that we conceded 2 from set pieces. Offensively, we did not manage to reach. We did not manage to get the ball to a person whenever we had a corner or a free kick, which was nothing short of embarrassing. But overall, not a good performance at all. I don't think that we deserve to win. We did create chances, but if you don't take them, then then a loss is the most you deserve, to be honest. And of course, that is the least you can get, which I know. Well, yes, Manchester United didn't create all too many chances themselves, but like I said earlier, you cannot criticise them for that because they took the chances they had. And yes, they were not from open play, but I'll say it again, you cannot criticise them for that because they still scored and they deserve to win because they took their chances, and that's that. I'm not going to blame Frank Lampard because I do believe that he had to field a weakened team because we do have a busy schedule, and with the players we fielded yesterday, you would have expected that we would have put in a better performance than we did. But yes, let's not overreact. Let's not lose our heads because it is our first loss in 8, and we do have to remember that Manchester United did take 2 points away from Liverpool, and they have been doing really well recently, so fair play to them. They're in the next round of the competition, but as for us, we just have to go on and try and get something from Watford and hopefully try and get a result against these lot when we next face them, which I don't know when that is, but we just have to keep going because that's all we can do. But yes, that is it for my thoughts on yesterday's match. Let me know what your thoughts on yesterday's match are in the comment section below, and as always, I will do my best to respond. But yes, now getting straight into the positives and the negatives. There's only one positive in which I took from yesterday's match, and that is the way we started the second half. I actually thought it was an absolutely world-class response, and we got the goal in which we deserved from the way we started in the second half. The goal did come in the 61st minute, but still, it was a brilliant second half response, shall I say. That's the only positive I have. I have 2 negatives, sadly. The first one I did mention in my thoughts on the match, and it's to do with the set pieces. Defensively and offensively, we really need to work on them in training because defensively, we were not good from set pieces, I'd say. In yesterday's match, that is, we did do well defensively on some of them, but we did concede 2 from set pieces, so that's why I'm saying that we weren't good from them. Offensively, we were shocking from set pieces, particularly Callum Hudson-Odoi. The corners he took were awful. but let's not slate him too much. He'll get better with time. There are some people out there saying that he's overrated, but let's not slate him. He's still young. He's still got a lot of time to learn, and he's still got a lot of things to learn, shall I say. But the second negative I have is that we could not get the ball up to our forwards, and we were very sloppy in possession. I know I said this already, but I'll say it again for emphasis. We were shocking in possession. But yes, those are the positives and the negatives, and I know I shouldn't have said that. I know I shouldn't have said this earlier, but that is it for my thoughts on yesterday's match. Let me know what your thoughts on yesterday's match are in the comment section below, and also let me know what positives and negatives you took from yesterday's match in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to respond. Now, to conclude this review, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on Chelsea's upcoming Premier League fixture, which will be taking place on Saturday at Vicarage Road against Watford, with kickoff at 5:30 PM UK time. Now, to be honest with you guys, Watford do sit at the bottom of the Premier League table and have not won a game in the competition yet. Yes, they recently got a 1-1 draw against Tottenham Hotspur, and they actually played really well in that game, and they arguably should have won the game. Some of the pundits said that they were the better team in the game, but I don't actually know because I didn't see the full game and I barely watched the highlights. But yes, I do have a feeling or a fear that they're going to try and hit us on the counter-attack, because they may see yesterday's game against Manchester United, as in our game against Manchester United yesterday, as a blueprint on how to beat us, but we'll just have to see. However, I do feel as though we should be winning this game because of the way we've been playing in the 7 games before yesterday's match, but we'll just have to see. Obviously, it's not guaranteed that we're going to win, but I won't be surprised if Watford did turn up in tomorrow's match, because they've not won in their last 10. They've not won in 10 Premier League games this season, which is something you would not expect from a Watford side with some really world-class players, or some really good players, shall I say. They have players like Roberto Pereira and XYZ. I'm not going to go on. But yes, I do think that we should be winning. However, I won't be surprised if we didn't, because Watford could just turn up and get a good result against us. They could even win. They've beaten us before, but we do have a good record against Watford. I believe they've not beaten us in... I believe they've only beaten us once in the last 8, I think it is. I'll need to check. But hopefully we get the win. Let's not be too down about yesterday's loss. I know I cannot stand Manchester United. I've not taken it lightly, because you guys should know that I do not like them. But all we can do is move on and hope that the team go out and get the job done in future games, and of course hope that we get the job done against these lot in the next game in which we play them in, which could be any time before the Premier League game, of course, at Stamford Bridge. But yes, that is it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all very soon. Come on, you Blues. Come on, Frank Lampard. And peace.